Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dario Ambries, and I am serving as the Fall Associated Student Body President. Please, thank you. Please, continue enjoying eating while I speak. Long Beach City College has been honoring alumni with introduction into the Hall of Fame since 1972. The Hall of Fame was officially started by the Associated Student Body Cabinet. But now, the original idea seems to have come from a satirical Viking Hall of Fame created by the ASB Cabinet in 1929 to rib favorite cabinet members. Over the years, this satire was replaced by sincerity, and today's event is a result of this history. It is my pleasure to represent the students of Long Beach City College. And now I introduce Kelly Green, our student trustee.
Will everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. I'm Jenny Baxter, and I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation. And the reason I'm standing up here is our luncheon chair, Maria Cochran, is ill. So I am taking Maria's place only for today. Welcome and glad you're here. Now I have to read the speech. On behalf of the Board of Governors of the Long Beach City College Foundation, I would like to thank you for attending today's event. The LBCC Foundation is committed to providing scholarships and support for students today and in the future. I would like to ask all the foundation governors to rise and be recognized for their efforts. So you guys know who you are. There's about 20 of you here today. If you would rise, and we'll applaud you. The Foundation Executive Committee decided that to take the luncheon to a higher level by offering a tribute book as part of the festivities. I am very pleased to announce that over $2,500 was raised from program ads, and you'll see it's a beautiful program. It's on your place. This is a great beginning, and I would like to thank my committee, this is Maria's committee, and fellow foundation members Steve Dodge, Stu Farber, Kathy Fishkin, and Jack Hinchy, and event coordinator Mary Crane. And Mary has worked tirelessly on today's program, and we're very, very appreciative of that. A special thanks goes to Dr. Stu Farber, who underwrote the printing of the program, and to Lynn Hernandez, who did a beautiful job in the layout. I know that many of you join me in saluting this year's nominees for serving as role models for today's students and the college in general for its continued commitment for over 80 years. And now it is my pleasure to call upon Dr. Stu Farber, who has a few words.
Hello and good afternoon. My job today is to introduce past Hall of Fame honorees. But first, special guests at our table. I have two former Long Beach State past presidents, past student body presidents, and one past president of the Business Association, Toby Sexton. Raise your hand, Toby. Danny Vivian, Tushan Rajapaksa, and my good wife, Trish, who completed 30 years of teaching algebra. Now, that's worth a luncheon, isn't it? Okay. By the way, where's the ASB president? These gentlemen are all vice presidents and managers now, so hang in there. It's my pleasure to introduce those in attendance who have previously been voted into the Alumni Hall of Fame. Please stand when your name is called. Remain standing. We'll hold the applause until everyone is standing. Okay. name and then the year you were inducted. Susie Atwood. Okay. Mary Alice Braley. Diane DeWalshy. Me. Jim Hankla. Joanne Hanson. Greg Harris. Dr. Bill Marmion. Dr. Bill. Jeffrey Napper. Dr. Beverly O'Neill, 1776. I wanted to see if you were paying attention. Dr. Beverly O'Neill, 1976. Ron Piazza, 1996. Les Robbins, 2008. Judy Seal, 2008. Judge Judy Vanderlands, 2001. And Greg Harris, 1991. Those are our former inductees. "129 previous alumni have been inducted into the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame. The LBCC Instructional Media Production Service Department has compiled a historical gallery of previous inductees so that you can put the faces with the names on the back of your program, and they're going to show that during our luncheon. In case you haven't noticed, I'm to announce there is a cake on everyone's table. Someone has been selected to cut that, so behave, make sure everybody gets one. All right, enjoy your luncheon, and thank you for supporting the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame. Thank you.
First off, I want to introduce the host of the true host of the program today, the members of the Long Beach City College District Board of Trustees. Our president, Mark Bowen. And members Roberto Uranga, Doug Otto, and Jeff Kellogg. I would also like to introduce Supervisor Don Kanabe. Representing Senator Jenny Oropesa, Sharon Weissman. And representing Senator Alan Lowenthal, Helene Ansel. Representing Assemblywoman Bonnie Lowenthal, Nikki Tennant. From the City of Long Beach, I want to thank Mayor Bob Foster for making a brief appearance. He just landed on a Trans-Pacific flight from Japan. It was good to see him here. We also have Vice Mayor Val Lurch and Councilmember Robert Garcia. From the City of Lakewood, so our another unofficial host today, Diane Dubois. From Signal Hill, Larry Forrester. And from Redondo Beach, Mayor Mike Ginn. All right, from our partner education institution, the Long Beach Unified School District, Board President Mary Stanton and Member Felton Williams. I would also like to introduce the president of the Long Beach City College Foundation, Suzanne Nosworthy. Where's Suzanne? Right in the corner. We have a number of former elected officials with us, so I'd like you all to join me in welcoming Mayor Beverly O'Neill and former council members Rob Webb and Les Robbins. And finally, we were remiss in not failing to mention two members of our Hall of Fame earlier, so I'd like to bring those folks, have those folks recognized as well. Jeff Kellogg and Elizabeth Lucas. So if we could do one more round of applause and thank all these representatives for being here, and especially for the proclamations that are on display in the back of the room for all of our guests. So thank you very much. Now it's my pleasure to introduce President Eloy Tees Oakley from Long Beach City College, a true community college success story. He graduated from Golden West Community College and transferred to University of California, Irvine, and has become one of the foremost education leaders in the state of California and the nation, focusing on the success agenda for students, trying to make sure that we get more students successfully through to degrees and certificates. So if you please join me in welcoming President Eloy Ortiz Oakley.
Good afternoon. What a great looking crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause just for looking so good. Even Supervisor Kanabe looks good. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. And it's always rewarding to have student involvement in our programs, particularly from the Associated Student Body. And we have the Associated Student Body President, as you've met, Mr. Dario Ambrose, and of course you've met our student trustee, Kelly Green. Student body sponsorship of today's event is a perfect example of how the ASB Cabinet recognizes and supports the goals of the college. Your contributions are appreciated by all, and I know that there are some of your fellow students who joined you here today to help honor our inductees. So if I could take a moment and ask all of our students, including the members of the ASB Cabinet, our student leadership groups, and the President's ambassadors who greeted you here today, please stand and be recognized. These students are what Long Beach City College is all about, and as you can see, the future continues to look bright for Long Beach City College, and I'm sure we'll be celebrating some of their achievements in the years to come. I look forward to it. Uh-oh. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony is a very special and important activity for Long Beach City College. Not only are we able to recognize and honor outstanding achievement, but the day also serves as a reminder of how consistently the institution has prepared its students for success. Today also reminds us that some of the students who are attending college today will at some point be our future inductees. With outstanding students being educated in our outstanding facilities, this important cycle continues, and the future remains bright. What will always bind the great history and future of this college together are the thousands and thousands of students who have walked the hallways of our campuses, students who have been educated by our very, very capable and outstanding faculty, many of who are here today. And if I could just take a moment to ask all of our emeritus faculty who are here today and all of our current faculty who are here today to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for being here to celebrate your accomplishments. Our faculty have prepared our students in the classroom. Our students have prepared themselves to go out and conquer the world. This combination of faculty, staff, and student effort results in individuals who can significantly contribute to our communities and to society as a whole. From this larger group of students who have attended LBCC, a select few have become members of our Hall of Fame and serve as important examples of the power of education. They have not only become leaders in their chosen fields of endeavor, but continue to serve an important role as role models for our current students, and they do a wonderful job of that. So to give you a glimpse of how we chose all these fine individuals, I'd like to ask Dr. Jenny Baxter to come up and tell us a little bit about the criteria for the selection of our Hall of Famers.
Thank you, Eloy. I would like to acknowledge the members of the Hall of Fame Planning Committee, the Alumni Office, the LBCC Foundation, the Instructional Media Production Services Department, the Academic Computing and Multimedia Services Department, the Office of Community Relations and Marketing, especially Camille Bolton, the student volunteers, the ASB Cabinet, and the President's ambassadors, and also especially Mary Crane, for their outstanding support in today's effort. It takes a lot of people to put this luncheon on. So if those people would please rise, and we'll give them a round of applause. And then when I was up here before, I have flowers for Mary. So Mary Crane, would you please come forward? We called on Mary to come in and put on this special event, and don't you agree, it's been just fabulous so far? And now here is the criteria for selection. 10 years must have elapsed since the candidate attended college. The candidate must have a proven track record of achievement in a chosen field or career or service to the community. The candidate must have gained local, state, or national recognition. An emphasis is placed and consideration is given to those who have had a continued relationship with the college. And now I turn the program over to President Oakley.
Okay, it's showtime. Are you all ready up there? Good. Okay, we will begin each induction with a preview video about the life of our inductee, after which each honoree will step up to the podium to make a few brief remarks, and then if the honoree would please remain on the podium after they complete their remarks, and then Board President Bowen will join us on the podium for the official induction. So, without further ado, let me, by way of video, introduce our first inductee, Susan Beanie.
Susan Beanie is best known as the founder and executive director of the New Hope Grief Support Community. New Hope is committed to providing grief support through education and grief groups to all people of all ages who are suffering the loss of a loved one. Her work has been used for survivors of Columbine, the Oklahoma City bombing, Hurricane Katrina, 9/11, and many other tragedies that have left children orphans and parents without their children. It's been said that some people get the experiences they need early on for their careers. This is true for Sue Beanie, who has been dealing with grief since she was very young. Sue's early life consisted of many happy memories combined with the sadness of losing many people dear to her. Seeing the benefits of grief counseling, Sue kept the memory of its value deep inside until she needed to use it later in life. Sue met Rick, the love of her life, in junior high school. Sue and Rick graduated from Jordan High, and Sue began her studies at Long Beach City College toward her first career as a dental assistant. At LBCC, she was a cheerleader and the Pacific Coast campus's board secretary while participating in many college events. She and Rick married in 1969 and raised their family. Sue then followed her long-held desire for advanced training in science and went back to Long Beach City College, earning her associate's degree in 1983 and her nursing degree in 1986. As a nurse at the Long Beach Veterans Hospital, Sue witnessed the despair and pain survivors faced after losing their loved ones. She was motivated by these patients, as well as her own personal losses, to pursue a greater understanding of the grief and healing process in order to help those families and children in particular. Sue found a limited amount of material to guide her and thus began her own life's passion. In 1987, she assembled her research notes into the Journey of Hope Grief Handbook to help people reach a new normal. She is also the co-author of A Kid's Journey of Grief, a handbook and memory book for grieving children. Both are excellent resources creatively designed for children to guide them to and through the healing process. Written in a kid-friendly way, the books provide tools to deepen children's understanding of their grief journey. There is also a special, official military edition of the book. New Hope received national recognition in the world of therapy and grief education, partnering with TAPS, the military's grief program for families of slain soldiers. The work currently being done at the New Hope Grief Support Community started with Sue leading grief groups anywhere and everywhere she could. Her house, churches, anyone's kitchen, the YMCA. Her friend Emma remembers the early years.
My mom and I were in Sue Beanie's first ever grief support group over 22 years ago. She was my dad's nurse when he was ailing with cancer. We now all volunteer, our whole family volunteers for New Hope Grief Support Community. So it's a family affair. We all help, we all believe in what Sue does, and we all pitch in.
The history of New Hope reveals a homegrown vision come to reality through hard work and dedication. It is a model for entrepreneurs with a social service dream. Sue considers her friend Wayne the ghost co-founder of New Hope, and he remains a loyal fan of Sue's amazing ability to help others.
Sue Beanie is a very passionate person, but she's passionate about being compassionate for others. That comes from Sue's outlook on life. Her glass is not half full, it's not half empty, it's running over all the time. And she is busy scurrying for those drops because they represent such great opportunities for her.
Sue credits volunteers like Wayne and Emma and donors such as the Miller Foundation for enabling the unique New Hope Kids Camp and weekly support groups for adults, teenagers, and kids. It is rare to have a conversation with Sue and Rick without laughter, tears, and hugs. Theirs is a partnership that has spanned more than 4 decades of family, spirituality, and a drive to help others through New Hope.
New Hope Grief Support Community definitely is her passion. Many times, phone calls that she's gotten and just listen to her talk to people, the passion and the emotion that comes out and the empathy for them is incredible. She has been my best friend. We've gone through an awful lot together, from deaths of family members to extreme joys of our 2 sons, and now we have 3 grandsons. I am forever amazed on a daily basis at the things that God does through her and through New Hope, impacting people's lives that have lost somebody. It's amazing to watch her passion work. She's one of the most passionate people that I know.
Wife, mother, nurse, grandma, friend, advisor. President Eloy Ortiz Oakley and the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees proudly induct Susan Beanie into the 2009 Hall of Fame.
Better grab the Kleenex. Oh, here I am, sorry. Better grab the Kleenex. I'm the lady who makes you cry. I'm overwhelmed by this honor to be amongst this amazing group of honorees today. Ken and Mary, Doug and Kurt, congratulations. I would not be here today without my exceptional Long Beach City College education, the tremendously helpful financial aid support that I received in my college career, and the finest training from the best nurse educators for my RN degree. Beyond compare, it's the best choice I could ever made for a school and a career choice. This award is given today truly for the privilege I have day by day of serving a often forgotten group, those who grieve. Big people, little people, moms like my HAG friends, that stands for Hats and Grief Support, by the way, and fathers, people of all ages who need to know that there is hope and healing for them ahead. My heartfelt thanks to the committee for this treasured award. Thank you to my precious family and friends here today for believing in me and what I do. Thank you to my wise sage and mentor, Wayne Twiddell, and his energetic wife, Joni. Part of this award belongs to you. And finally, to my soulmate, 45 years plus, Rick Beanie. Thank you, honey, for this wonderful journey called life. We've had a lot of fun along the way, and more yet to come. Mom and Dad, this award's for you. Thank you. Was I supposed to stay here?
Stay right here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Okay, each of our awardees today will be receiving this plaque commemorating today's activities, plus also a lapel pin that President Oakley will be pinning on them so they can show off to others, everything they have to be proud of and what we have to be proud of in their accomplishments. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees at Long Beach City College, our students, faculty, and staff, it's my honor to induct you into Long Beach City College Alumni Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thank you. Already? That's good. Good. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you
Susan.
so much.
Okay. We'll continue along our journey here. Our next recipient and inductee into the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame, Mr. Ken Buck.
Chances are you've been to Ken's business, Joe Jost's, for a rite of passage, fundraiser, playoff game, or simply a 29-degree schooner of beer. Located near the intersection of Anaheim and Temple, known for its pickled eggs, specials, and drafts, it's one of Long Beach's oldest watering holes. Joe Jost opened the business in 1924 as a barbershop, and there's still an ancient barber's sink behind the bar from the early days when Joe offered sandwiches, beer, and haircuts. Aside from the lack of clean shave and haircut, little has changed in the past 85 years. Joe Jost was a likable businessman who loved his family, adventure, and participating in the community. The same can be said for Joe's grandson, today's Long Beach City College Hall of Fame inductee, Ken Buck. Joe Jost is Long Beach's version of Cheers, a place to get away where everyone knows your name. A place where the city's firefighters are thrown bags of famous Marmion peanuts when they drive by. The walls are cluttered with snapshots of patrons in Joe Jost t-shirts standing in front of world landmarks, from pre-9/11 New York City to Iraq, the Alamo, Costa Rica, and throughout Europe. It's come to be known as a practice called Joesting. Ken Buck and Joe Jost share many similar traits: their spirit of adventure and self-reliance, their love of books and sports. Outdoorsmen with tenacious work ethics who both had a special knack keeping good friends for life.
There's nothing phony about Ken. He's a real gentleman and a real worker. He's a team player, and I'm just really privileged to know him.
Eventually, Ken and his enterprising spirit purchased Joe Jost's from his family. He might be quiet, but the impact he has on others is immense. He's the kind of guy whose employees become family members and customers become lifelong friends.
The type of person that Ken is, and the way he runs his business, and the way he takes care of the community, and the way he takes care of Long Beach per se, with the history that he's put forth, and the type of person he is, it's just something that I've been very fortunate to deal with, know him, work with him, work for him, and it's just been a good privilege.
You cannot go to any function in Long Beach without seeing a Joe Jost booth and a Joe's flags. He's touched everybody dearly in this community.
Born in Long Beach in 1950, Ken enjoyed what he calls a Leave It to Beaver experience. His mother, Patricia, Joe Sr.'s daughter, had a cowbell, which she would clang whenever she wanted him home. And television watching took a back seat to playing with friends. In the 6th grade, Ken was the president of Lowell Elementary School, which he says began and ended his political career. After graduating from Rogers and Wilson High School, Ken knew that he and Long Beach City College would be a good fit. Ken's classes were business-oriented, which he says has had a lasting effect on his career success. Ken then transferred to San Diego State University and became a member of the fraternal organization Sigma Alpha Epsilon. San Diego proved to be lucky for Ken later as well, when he reconnected with his future bride Kathleen on a San Diego beach. A longtime supporter of the Long Beach Police Department and Long Beach Fire Department, Ken is a former member of the Board of Directors for the Long Beach Police Officers Honorary Association. Ken is also a past member of the Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness, founding member and current board member of the East Anaheim Street Business Alliance. Ken and his sister co-founded the Patricia Buck Scholarship Fund, honoring their mother and benefiting students from Wilson High School. In fact, each educational institution within the city of Long Beach benefits from the generosity of Joe Josts.
Joe Jost is an institution, and Ken Buck is the greatest guy. Long Beach City College, Joe Jost go hand in hand.
Kathleen claims that she does her best to keep out of the day-to-day operations of the business. But there are a few things we can thank her for establishing at the Long Beach institution. Take the Marmion Peanuts, for example.
My contribution has actually been selling the peanuts here and the toilet shields in the bathroom.
Kathleen certainly knows a good thing when she sees it.
There's never a day that goes by that I wish that I was married to anybody else. And he's somebody that likes to fly under the radar, not get a lot of credit for things. He's the rudder. He's the rudder for me because I'm the emotional one, and the one that likes the limelight maybe a little bit more. Then I guess it's a balance between the two people, and it's made for a very good match.
People often ask Ken if it's a good day at Joe's, and he replies, every day is a good day at Joe's.
Congratulations, Ken!
President Eloy Ortiz Oakley and the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees proudly induct Ken Buck into the 2009 Hall of Fame.
Well, I swore I wasn't going to cry, but I don't know. I'd like to thank him for the wonderful video. It was more than I expected. I'd also like to thank Long Beach City College Associated Student Body, President Oakley, the trustees, the foundation, and all involved in the Hall of Fame nomination process. Needless to say, I was quite delighted when President Oakley surprised me with my nomination into the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame. And for my name just to be included with the other nominees is truly an honor. Please allow me to introduce my wife, Kathleen. Would you stand? Tomorrow we will celebrate 28 years of marriage, and I would like to thank her for unconditional love and support. I know at times I can be a handful. Also at the table, I would like to introduce my sister and brother-in-law, Kristen and John White. They've traveled from Central California to be here. And my general manager and best friend, Sean Flathers. And thank you to all my friends and customers who I see out there today, who have come out today to support myself and the other honorees. While contemplating the honor of my nomination to the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame, I soon came to the realization that I was not selected because of my academic ability or my athletic skills. If you were to ask those friends of mine here this afternoon who attended City with me, they would tell you I was an average student, as my grade point average would confirm. And although 3 friends and myself, including Dave Johnson, who's sitting out here this afternoon, held the Long Beach City College intramural swim record for the 4x50 swim relay for a number of years, that was the total of my athletic prowess. However, I do credit Del Walker's golf class with an improvement of my handicap. Even though I did not excel academically, my City College experience had a profound influence on my life. After experienced professors like Dr. Hoheisel, who taught geology, I never saw our Earth the same again. For years after that class, I never went on a driving trip without my textbook so that we could discuss the various land features. And later, after I began flying, I was able to see the landscape and understand why and how it looks as it does, and how it was formed and truly made a life more interesting. And who could have taken film appreciation taught by Professor Shashin Desai and truly opened our eye and ever seen a film the same way again. Or Professors Buttery and Dr. Straka, who taught astronomy and truly opened our eyes and minds to the universe beyond. It was classes like these I remember, and once again made my life more meaningful. But more significant to me was the business side of my education at City College. Professor Phipps taught economics, and he helped me to understand the production, distribution, consumption of goods and services, or in simpler terms, how capitalism works. He took a difficult subject, made it interesting to a 19-year-old student. And then there was Professor Van Osteen, who taught accounting. Through his and my father's help, I was able to create and understand a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement at a young age. And that brings me back to the reason why I'm up here this afternoon. In 1976, I went to work at, and eventually purchased my mother's family's business, Joe Joe's. It is through this business that we have been able to give back to the community that has been so generous to us. I have been the steward of this institution and have constantly drawn on the tools of my education and life's experiences to make Joe Joe's a profitable enterprise. And a large part of that enterprise has been a strong relationship with our community. I believe my life to be a charmed one, married to a woman I love, owning a business that I look forward to, working at every day, having the finest customers in the world, and cultivating and maintaining personal business and community relationships with wonderful people and organizations. I wasn't going to do that. In closing, I would like to offer some simple advice to the students in the audience. Get a good education. Find a job you love to go to every day. Work hard, raise your family, and good things will come to you. And for those of you who are closer to my age, who have already gotten their education, worked hard, and raised your family, I suggest you go down to Joe's and have an ice-cold beer, because you deserve it. Once again, thank you to my family and friends for their support. Thank you to my customers who must believe we are doing the right thing because they've kept walking in our doors for the last 85 years. And to Long Beach City College, who's honored an average guy who through his small business has tried to do the right thing in his community, I'm eternally grateful. Thank you.
Mr. Buck, on behalf of the Board of Trustees at Long Beach City College, our student, faculty, and staff, it's my honor to officially induct you into our Alumni Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
All right, now for the lapel pin. All right, congratulations, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Our next honoree, Miss Mary McCucci.
Before there were women bartenders, before Wolfgang Puck and the rise of celebrity chefs, before the food revolution of the late 1970s, before there was a $20 billion a year party planning industry, it was hard to get a good catered meal. Even the rich and powerful were pretty much confined to the rubber chicken circuit. Now, event planning is an art and a science and a feast for all the senses. And our Hall of Fame inductee was at the forefront of it all. Mary McCucci is best known for her company, Along Came Mary Productions. On any night of the week, McCucci & Company can be found directing small armies of lighting, sound, and music directors, entertainers, and chefs for a seemingly endless list of high-end clients. The firm handles hundreds of events each year. Her company has crisscrossed the country, planning events for clients nationwide, and has transformed countless types of venues, from airport hangars, empty parking lots, and football fields, to private homes, studio backlots, the Santa Monica Pier, all manner of hotel ballrooms, convention centers, and retail stores, and places that have yet to be thought of. The company's range of services includes event production, logistics, decor, audiovisual, entertainment, management, and rental coordination. The company is the definition of full service. But food remains the cornerstone of the events, and most is very specialized to Along Came Mary.
I think the secret of success here for Along Came Mary is individuality. You definitely need that. I mean, everyone's doing something wonderful, whether it's a restaurant or a catering company. So what you want to do as a chef is to make your own mark, have your own creativity. Here we do lots of minis. We always have.
Mary grew up in a warm-hearted Italian family and came away with deeply ingrained memories of important family events, corresponding meals, and kinship with her siblings and friends. That background shaped how she approaches life and now makes a living. They say that the world's most successful people follow their hearts. This couldn't be truer for this authentic and talented woman. After a 5-year career as a flight attendant based out of Miami, Mary came to Los Angeles to attend college in the 1970s. She came to Long Beach City College and took classes from none other than Lowell Johnson. She credits him for helping her build her confidence and self-esteem. Her experiences at LBCC helped point her in a direction that would change her life. Mickey Davis tells us more about Mary.
While working her way through college as a waitress, Mary met the wives of some Hollywood power brokers. In the mid-1970s, Mary found herself in the middle of the women's movement and the food revolution in Hollywood, and in doing so, tried to find a way to create her own niche. After graduating from college with a marketing degree and managing her all-girl bartending service, Mary found herself doing a dinner party for some Hollywood wives. 6 months later, a celebrity friend hired Mary to do a dinner party for 16. In 1980, the next big transition came for Mary when she was hired to do a movie party theme for Popeye. This was a really big event for Mary and her company.
Arranging the Popeye premiere showed her that special events, not just catering, was her future. She knew that she would make it after successfully catering many events as part of the 1984 Olympics. You can see some of her spectacular creations on the alongcamemary.com website. She credits her Vice President of Catering, Bill Starbuck, for much of her success.
We decided to give it a shot in '84 before the Olympics. In '84, she had a huge project coming up every day for CBS. And she supposedly needed my help, so I came aboard, and it's been great ever since. What attracts us to each other is she doesn't know no, and I strive for perfection, so her pushing me pushes myself, and in essence push the company forward to get where we are now. We talk out the details and ask each other questions and get each other going. We've enjoyed it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I just finished 25, going 26 full-time years here, so don't foresee it ending anywhere soon. Congratulations, Mary, on everything, and here's to many more years.
Along Came Mary has produced and catered almost every award show held in LA, including the Emmys, Grammys, SAG Awards, most movie premieres, countless fundraisers, galas, and high-profile events. Her private clients are some of the most powerful and recognized people in the world, including presidents and Fortune 500 clients. She has been written up in every imaginable magazine and has garnered numerous awards. She's been called everything from the Epicurean Steven Spielberg to the Maven of Marvelousness. Clients claim that Mary will move heaven and earth to make fantasy become a reality. Mary takes an active role in her community as well. Her generosity can be witnessed in the countless pounds of food donated each year to Angel Harvest, LA Food Bank, and other missions. Other charities near and dear to her heart include Good Shepherd and House of Ruth, focusing on the needs of women and children. Mary donates her time and money producing fundraising events for a variety of charities. For her charity and community work, and for entrepreneurship that impacted an entire industry, President Eloy Ortiz Oakley and the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees proudly induct Mary Micucci into the 2009 Hall of Fame.
Hello, everybody. I once did a speech and all the cards were out of order, and I'm not going to do that today. I'm so very, very happy to be here today, and I thank the Long Beach City College Alumni Association for choosing me as one of your honorees, along with these other wonderful, illustrious honorees. I would also like to thank my dear friend Mickey Davis for nominating me today, and my partner Kimberly Nutter for being here. It means so much to me that they are both here. I loved Long Beach City College. When I left New York in the early 70s, after flying around the world as a flight attendant, I decided to make a major change in my life and moved to California. It was for love, of course. Why else would I leave my amazing family and friends? I quickly settled into the lifestyle of Southern California, but had no idea what I was going to do with the rest of my life. A friend of mine suggested that I go to college, something I had never considered before, and that Long Beach City College was a wonderful school and the education was somewhat free. I thought long and hard about this, as I never considered myself as an academic. My love was for sports and having fun when I was in high school, and as a flight attendant, I learned to embrace all the countries I had visited. With a leap of faith, I decided to jump in and give it a try. It was, quite frankly, the smartest decision I had ever made in my life. The school, the faculty, the campus was quite amazing, and this New York kid soon fell in love with Long Beach City College. I decided early on my major would be speech communication, and my teacher was a gentleman by the name of Lowell Johnson. I only wish he could be here today, as he is one of the most instrumental people in my life and soon became my mentor. Lowell and my other teachers and the academic standards of LBCC put in motion a sense of confidence and intellectual awakening I had never experienced before. Lowell is quite sick, but I hear today that he's getting better, which my heart is so relieved, and I'm so happy. And I know we'll have another little reunion after this, just to embrace each other and give each other a kiss on each cheek and, have a good time. I don't know if anybody knows Lowell, but to know him is to love him. I end my speech with this lovely thought. I took a poetry class from Lowell, something that I always thought was kind of sappy. But after being with Lowell, I learned a poem by William Wordsworth called Daffodils. And wherever Lowell is, I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for teaching me how to dance with the daffodils. Thank you. You're tall.
Congratulations,
Thank
Mary.
you.
On
Thank
behalf
you.
of the Board of Trustees and all of the staff at Long Beach City College, it's my pleasure to formally induct you into our Alumni Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now for your lapel pin.
Oh, thank you. Right here.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and now, for somebody who's very near and dear to my heart, Mr. Doug Otto.
You just try to keep up with Doug Otto. Sure, he wasn't actually born in Long Beach, California, but luckily for us, Doug decided to adopt us at an early age. When a local couple had the chance to raise identical twin infant boys from Illinois, they leapt at the chance. Douglas and Donald Otto became official residents of Long Beach at the age of 6 weeks. Success as athletes and leaders came early to the Otto twins. Don was known as the smart one, and Doug was known as the jock. However, overachieving came early to Doug, and he still managed to serve as student body president at Marshall Junior High and Millikan High School while playing football and running for the track team. While attending Millikan, Doug met someone who would continue in phases throughout his life.
Doug was about 16 years old, and in the whole array of students, I knew that he was not only a good student, an effective student, but somebody who had leadership ability and had a very good heart.
After spending his freshman year at Long Beach City College, Doug transferred to Stanford University. As a college student in the 1960s, Doug grew up in the generation that believed that individual actions could change the world, a philosophy he still holds today. The life and death of Dr. Martin Luther King prompted him to hitchhike across the country to Washington, D.C. Doug's experiences included the organization of a caravan for the Poor People's Campaign and to work on Resurrection City at the Reflecting Pool. While Doug would graduate from Stanford and earn his M.A. in religion jointly from Union Theological Seminary and Columbia University, he decided he wanted to be an actor in the world, and the law became his chosen profession, graduating from the University of Chicago Law School. Back in Long Beach, Doug made a profession of being an advocate for those whose voices might not otherwise be heard. There are many examples of how his tireless and relentless efforts on behalf of his clients, friends, and causes has paid off.
He's indefatigable. He has an absolute iron constitution. He believes that everyone should get 8 hours of sleep, but I think that's only during the course of a month. He is an enormously effective advocate, and when you marry those two qualities together, you get a lawyer who's just top-notch.
Doug Otto has also assumed numerous leadership positions in the community, and many have said that Doug never sat on a committee he didn't want to chair. The results of his work and his service can be seen in the city, at the aquarium, in the preservation of historic buildings, and among the legal profession. Now he is making a mark at Long Beach City College as a trustee and at the state level in student success policy making.
When I think of Doug Otto, I think of one of Long Beach's real leaders. It's not so much because of positions of formal leadership that he's held, although he has had plenty of those, but it really is through his informal leadership over many, many years in virtually every aspect of life in Long Beach. He was on the founding board of directors of the Aquarium of the Pacific. He chaired our planning and implementation committee. He oversaw the committee that developed our campus master plan, and that will guide our development over the next 20 years. He often tells me what to do and where to go. He has been obviously very active at Long Beach City College, and he's been active in community planning efforts throughout our city. He's a wonderful facilitator and convener of important discussions, and he's also a great advocate for people who are less fortunate and for important causes. We're a better city because of you, Doug. Thank you.
Despite all of his work in serving the city he adores, and as an advocate to his clients, Doug has the ability to cover an astounding amount of territory in one day. Yes, he may represent you at a trial in the morning or argue a point with you at one of the various boards he has served on in the evening. He remains a friend and father at the forefront.
I remember from the time I was a very little girl, he was always running around to meetings and, functions and, receptions, and he always had me and my sister in tow. He always wanted us to be a part of what he was a part of, and it wasn't this thing that he ever sort of kept separate, but it was like I learned from a very young age that being involved was a very, very important part of life.
It's pretty amazing, I think, what we've been able to do with our family. We have wonderful children, wonderful grandchildren, and an amazing, interesting marriage. The only way I can describe my marriage to Doug is that it is a thrill a minute, a constant adventure. We have so many things going on and so many friends and so many things that are meaningful in our lives, but we managed to have a great time doing it. what it meant to him to get his start at Long Beach City College, to go on with his amazing academic achievements. And I know that coming back to the college as a trustee has been one of the most meaningful experiences in his life. Doug, I just can't tell you how great it is to be a part of your adventure and to share that with you. You are the love of my life, and it has just been more than anything else, just a great ride.
For his service and advocacy, President Eloy Ortiz Oakley and his fellow board members proudly induct Douglas Otto into the 2009 Hall of Fame.
Wow. Thank you, and congratulations to all the other inductees. It's a comment on the sense of community here in Long Beach that Ken Buck and Kurt Pedersen I have known for decades, and that's the spirit of this community in many ways. I'd like to introduce my family, without whose support and forbearance, I don't think I would be here. So if you just stand up, everybody. As the video indicated, I think I've lived a life of advocacy and community service here in the city of Long Beach. I have been involved in social justice issues for a long, long time. And the reason I decided to come and serve at Long Beach City College, hopefully as a trustee, and I was fortunate enough to be elected, is because I think that the civil rights issues of the 21st century have to do with higher education. That we live at a time right now where it is so important that we have an educated workforce, that we have an educated citizenry. What the policymakers tell us is that if we don't have 1 million more people with degrees by 2020 in the state of California, we're going to fall behind and not have the kind of economy that we need. We're going to have great difficulty in our social fabric and network because people won't be able to make the kinds of living to enjoy the prosperity that we all have. And so I think that the work at Long Beach City College is so important, and that's what I'm trying to do in this more or less last phase of my life. One of the statistics that I have been impressed with when I came into this kind of work is that there are 200,000 UC students, there are 420,000 CSU students, and there are 2.9 million community college students. We all know that many students come to college underprepared. They come without the social skills that they need to be successful in life. If you are admitted to a University of California campus or a CSU campus, what they say to you is, congratulations, do well. We hope you will succeed. If you come to a community college, what we say to you is, who are you? We need to get to know you because it's our job to make you successful. Now, this has it's more like a military campaign with 2.9 million students than it is a one-to-one relationship. And it's way too late for small categorical programs like Puente or EOPS or any of the other good things that we do on campus to be enough. It used to be said that the challenge for higher education in California was all about access. It was all about getting people into seats in classes. That's not true anymore. It's all about student success. It's all about getting students not into seats, but out of those seats, persisting, staying, getting certificates, getting degrees, and that's what our challenge is. Long Beach City College has become a front runner in this effort. We've received recognition throughout the state. The president has a student success agenda. The Board of Trustees has adopted a set of student success goals. And we're working very hard to change the way that we do business at Long Beach City College to ensure the success of students that is so fundamental to the way that we can be successful in the future, not just as a community, but on a statewide level. My favorite movie, I think, is It's a Wonderful Life. You know the movie. You usually see it at Christmas time. Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey is, you know, they lose the money at the bank. He thinks that they're going to go down the tube, and he's sitting there by the river thinking about suicide, thinking about what it is that he should do in this darkest moment in his life. And his guardian angel, Clarence, comes down and to try and convince him that no, it's not so bad. And he really can't convince him that it's not so bad because it looks pretty darn dark to George Bailey. And so he says, look, George, let's look at what Bedford Falls would be like if you weren't here. And I know you all remember the movie. You remember how different it would have been. These events, for all of us as inductees, are our chances, our opportunity to be George Bailey. Everybody is George Bailey. We just got this great opportunity today to be recognized, and I thank Long Beach City College, the foundation, the indomitable Jenny Baxter for putting this on, and I thank you so much.
Congratulations, Doug. On behalf of us all at the college, it's my pleasure to officially induct you into our Alumni Hall of Fame.
All right, now that lapel pin you've been waiting for.
I took the other one off.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations. How about that beard? Did you see that beard? And now, last but certainly not least, Mr. Kurt Pedersen.
This is the office of Los Angeles County Supervisor Don Knabe. With an area bigger than some states and a budget larger than some countries' gross national product, the work done here has a huge impact on the daily life of millions of people. Managing the 4th District requires a well-oiled machine staffed by highly qualified multitaskers and headed by Chief of Staff and 2009 Hall of Fame nominee, Kurt Pedersen. Looking back on his life, it's fair to think that Kurt was born to do this job. He learned many concepts at an early age while growing up in the very same district he now works for, the Wrigley District of Long Beach, attending both Lafayette and Bernie elementary schools. He loved his small-town-like experience in this historically rich and strategically important city with lots of interesting social problems and reminders of important events that happened only one generation before. He learned about flood control playing in what his parents called Cedar Gulch. During the rainy season, the street they lived on, Cedar Avenue, flooded and overflowed. He learned time management by choosing to spend the 50 cents for bus fare downtown and the price of a movie by ignoring orders not to go to the Pike by going to the Pike. He learned the concept of public trust by visiting the local mom-and-pop grocery store where he would hand over a list to the grocer and get a paper bag full of items to take home. His parents would settle up later. He learned a lot about disaster planning, emergency response, and public works projects by hearing about the 1933 earthquake. His parents were both at Pauley High during the quake. Kurt recalls many stories that are part of local legend, folklore, and collective memories unique to Long Beach and Southern California. Following high school, he left California briefly to attend Graceland College in Iowa and enjoyed playing football in the fall, but the winter of 1961-62 was brutal. It snowed in late October and he didn't see the ground again until April. This gave him a new appreciation of the Southern California climate and he returned home. However, one very important event happened in Iowa. He met his lifelong friend and current boss, Don Canavi. The next stop on Kurt's educational career was Long Beach City College. He was working 24 to 30 hours a week, changing tires at his dad's tire store and taking a full load of classes. Following graduation from Long Beach State in 1966, he went to work full-time in the family business. Kurt married his wife Rosie in 1967, and they became the proud parents of Anne-Marie and Tina. His family definitely inspires his work. As uncle to the Molina children, Kurt helped Hall of Fame member Dr. Mario Molina see the light about working for a living.
Well, one of the best things about my Uncle Kurt is that he's responsible for my college education. When I was right out of high school, he owned a tire dealership. And one summer he put me to work stacking tires. And that's when I learned that hard work and I just did not mix, and that I really needed to stay in school and go to college. So I really appreciate that experience. The other thing that I would say about him is that he's always been helpful to me and helpful to just about everybody that I know. When we needed jobs, he would find us jobs. When we needed help with school, he was there, and he's been very supportive of our family as well as just everybody in the community. One of the great things about Kurt is you can always count on him to find a way to help.
Kurt purchased the Goodyear tire business from his father in the early 70s, but in 1985, fate stepped in when he got an offer to sell the business. He saw it as an opportunity for change and decided to reinvent himself. He enrolled at Whittier Law School. This act of courage was inspirational for Kurt's nieces.
I've always found Uncle Kurt to be very inspirational. When most people at age 40 are kind of set in their careers, he completely changed. He was running a tire company, Goodyear, and decided he wanted to go back to school and become a lawyer. And I just thought that that was something that was a very good example for all of us to follow your dreams no matter your age or where you are in life.
Uncle Kurt has always been very inspiring. I went to Long Beach City College, as did Kurt, and gosh, just about all of my brothers and sisters. We found him to be a leader in the family after our dad died, and we've always been able to turn to him for good advice, and I'm just very proud of him.
As a rookie member of the California State Bar at age 42, Kurt was a trial attorney at the U.S. Small Business Administration. All the pieces were falling together when the Office of Supervisor Canavi needed an attorney on staff. While friends for more than 40 years at this point, Don knew there was no one better to be his chief of staff when the position opened in 2003.
You know, this friendship has developed into a working relationship. Kurt and I have worked together on many different projects, but obviously recently, you know, he's been my chief of staff for the last several years. You know, it's very, very nice when you have someone that can watch your back, that you totally trust with your life, and Kurt is that person. And to say that we're close is an understatement. He and Rosie are the godparents of our boys. My oldest son is named after Kurt, so we have a very, very special relationship. We're honored. I know I speak for myself, for my family, and our entire staff to say congratulations, Kurt. We're proud of you, well deserved, and look forward to many, many more years of friendship.
Sure, there's many serious matters to attend to, but it's not all business for the 4th District team as a mystery trick continues to be played on today's Hall of Fame inductee. President Eloy Ortiz Oakley and the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees proudly induct Kurt Pedersen into the 2009 Hall of Fame.
I don't know how many of you looked inside the program, but my family has a picture of me as Adore Adorable's baby of 1943. And when you start off life with being Adore's adorable baby, it's such a rather high bar for you throughout the rest of your life. It's an honor, real honor for me to be inducted into the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame with such wonderful people and accomplished people as such as we have tonight. And I want to thank everybody who was involved in the selection process. It's a real honor. First, just real quickly, I have a bunch of people here because I don't get these kind of honors very often, and so I think a lot of them showed up just to see if it was true that I was getting this. So I just quickly like to go through and introduce my family and a couple of friends. My beautiful and wonderful wife, Rosie, of 42 years. My daughter, Tina, and her guest, Steve Paddock. Anne-Marie and her guest, David Summers. And then all my nieces and nephews. I've got Janet and Larry Watt, John and Michelle Molina, Doctors Tino and Martha Bernadette, Josephine Batiste and her guest, Heather Rudy, and Julie and Jamie Shores. Thanks again for coming. Then also my boss and longtime friend, I said we go back, I don't know, what is it, 46, 47 years? Something like that, but Don Kanabe, and I think about my second oldest friend, his wife Julie. Thank you. And then all the great staff of Supervisor Kanabe's office. You know, they make it easy for me to do my job. I've learned something from each and every one of them, and I just want to thank you for all the support you give me doing my job. Thank you. I'm a Long Beach native. I was born at a community hospital, went to grammar school in Long Beach, left for a short period of time to go to Iowa, which I, as I said, quickly came back. I owned and operated a business in Long Beach. My wife and I have lived in the same house on 6th Street in Long Beach for 36 years. Long Beach is truly in my blood. And I also can truly say that Long Beach City had a real impact on my life. I was one of the few people, I think, that entered Long Beach City on probation. Academic probation, I should say. And as part of that, I had a mandatory meeting with the counselor, and she was a wonderful, wonderful woman. You know, and in 62 and 63, when I went there, the world was a little different. A lot of people, you know, went to work for a company right out of high school and stayed there and retired from there. College was an option for a middle-class kid like myself, but not always, you know, considered to be the best option. And when I came into Long Beach City, I wasn't really sure if college was for me. And so, as I said, I had this appointment with this counselor. And again, she was a wonderful woman, and I really wish I could remember her name, but she challenged me. And she said, Curtis, you're better than this. And so she said, now I want you to do one thing this next semester. She says, I want you to spend 1 hour studying for every hour you're in class. And I said, boy, that's a novel idea. I've never heard that before. And so anyway, I said, I figured, you know, I was working 24 hours a week and 15 hours in class, 15 hours studying, 168 hours in a week. I could do that. You know, I figured I could do that. So anyway, I did that, and lo and behold, my grades started to improve. I finished 2 years at Long Beach City. I went on and went to Long Beach State. And so, I mean, I think it taught me a life lesson that sometimes it's the simplest things that you don't really recognize, but that someone points out a simple thing that you just haven't adopted in your lifestyle. And she pointed this out to me. And a lot of people think, well, geez, that's pretty obvious. But, you know, sometimes, especially when you're 18 or 19 years old, these things aren't that obvious. And she pointed this out to me, and as I said, it really changed. It changed my life. And also another thing I learned was that people need a second chance. And I'll tell you what, Long Beach City, I think, at least for me, and I think for a number of people, have given people second chances to go on and further their careers. Obviously, you know, I had great teachers, both in and out of the classroom, counselors as well as instructors. And Long Beach City, I think, really put me on the pathway of self-discipline that allowed me to run a tire business, to go back at law school at 42 and graduate, and become the chief of staff, I think, to the most respected politician in Southern California. And again, I want to thank Long Beach City for what they've done for me, and thank you very much for coming.
Congratulations, Kurt. Congratulations, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's my honor to officially welcome you into our Alumni Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Good side, Martin.
All right, now for the lapel team. Right over here.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2009 inductees into the Long Beach City College Hall of Fame. Please join me in giving them a wonderful round of applause.
If you would all stand, we have over 85 years of tradition, and this song's been a part of it. So if you know it, join in, and if not, just join in. Sedi collegium, we sing to thee, fair alma mater, down by the sea, for honor and service, loyalty to thy sons and thy daughters pledge their best to